Okay, you guys wanted immediate post-workout. So here we are. I just got done with a 1 mile ruck that it caused me to be exhausted. I'm very proud of it though. This is 50 pounds. It's the first time that I've rucked with 50 pounds, so I feel pretty good about it. I am pooped. No makeup today. Nothing fancy. But it's the end of week 3 of heavy drop training. I'm very happy with myself, very proud of myself for making it even halfway through. So far, I haven't had too much trouble with actually fitting all of the workouts in. I know a lot of people say like that's a problem. And I guess maybe it's just my schedule allows it. A lot of people who are in this are parents, or work multiple jobs, and I am neither of those things. I have one job and I'm not a parent. I just have me, so it's easier for me to fit it in. I've been doing pretty good. I'm exhausted. This last week really kicked my butt, but I lost another 4 pounds this week, so that puts me at a total of 15 pounds lost since I started rucking. Not necessarily since the start of heavy drop, but since I started rucking about a month and a half ago. So 15 pounds in 6 weeks, that's not too bad. That's more than a pound or 2 pounds a week. So I'm very proud of that. I'm also lifting more than I thought I could lift, and doing things that I never thought I could do. So I'm extremely happy about that. This week, I really accomplished a lot of things that I just never thought that I could accomplish. And I think that's one really important aspect of rucking and of heavy drop training and of anything like this that you would do. It's that you do things that you never thought you could do. You accomplish things that you might have thought at one time in your life, man, I'll never be able to do that. I'll never be able to do that many sit-ups or that many push-ups, or I'll never be able to run that far, or I'll never be able to lift that much weight. And you just do, and you start where you are. You start at, if you can only lift 10 pounds, you start at 10 pounds. And then guess what? When you can, lift 10 pounds 50 times, you can lift 20 pounds. You can lift 20 pounds 15 times. And just every little thing that you do to better yourself, just it's exponential. How much it helps you and affects you. Just one little thing that you do now will benefit you for the rest of your life. So it's just one thing that I've really loved about this week. Just sort of coming to all of these, not necessarily new conclusions, but just realizing how much I can do when I just put my mind to it. And when I just say to myself, no, I can hold this for another, I can hold this 20 pounds above my head for another minute and a half. I've already done it for this long, I can hold it longer. Or, no, I've already done, 112 push-ups, I can do 120. And this week, I ended up doing 145 push-ups, which was ridiculous. Not in a certain time frame. That wasn't in the 2 minutes. Originally you had to do 2 minutes of push-ups, 2 minutes of sit-ups, and then 5 minutes of burpees. We didn't really have to do that this week. But in one of the workouts just was 145 push-ups of different kinds. You had to do 3 push-ups in one while doing other movements, and so that made it a little more difficult even. So 145 very difficult push-ups, and that's ridiculous. If somebody told me within the next 2 hours you're gonna do 145 push-ups, I would have laughed at them. A year ago I would have laughed at them. Even 6 months ago or 3 months ago I would have laughed at them. But here we are, 6 weeks into heavy drop training, and in less than a 2-hour time span, I did 145 push-ups, which is crazy. And not only were they 145 push-ups, but they were 145 push-ups with a 20-pound pack on my back. 20 pounds has kind of been my standard this week. Different people have different standards, but I've been trying to stick with 20 pounds for the basic stuff, and then for things like rucking, where I just go and I just walk, I will add some weight. My doctor told me that I probably should not be running, and so I've been taken down to the anything that would be running. I'm rucking it instead. and that has really benefited my knee. I know I told you guys I've been having knee issues. Last week was absolutely ridiculous. I had some of the worst pain of my life last week with my knee. And my doctor said, hey, just don't run anymore. Don't do things that actually will hurt it. Ever since then, it's been getting a lot better. And I've been able to do even more in the program than I would have. Like, if I had continued to run on my knee and just ended up hurting it, there's no way I could have rocked with 50 pounds today. So I'm really grateful for Brian, who's sort of the head of heavy drop training. I'm really grateful that he is allowing me to stay in the program, even though it's a modified version, because I think for the most part, I think everyone can agree that it's better to stay in the program and modify some workouts than to just be kicked out of the program or not be able to do it at all, or to injure yourself to the point where you physically can't do it at all. So I'm really grateful that I was able to do that, and rocking with 50 pounds today was amazing. You can get like runner's high doing other workouts too, and I have definitely been getting runner's high from rucking. When you push yourself really hard like that, your body loves it. It's you think that you're gonna hate it, but it's all in your head. All of the hate for an exercise or a workout or a movement, it's all in your head. Your body loves it. Your body, even though like maybe tomorrow this or that muscle is gonna hurt or whatever, it happens. But your body loves that. Your body wants to move, and that's why these endorphins are released, and that's why like people keep coming back to exercising. People who don't exercise don't understand why people who exercise exercise. And the reason is because like our bodies grow to love it, and we grow to realize how much our bodies love it, and we feel better mentally and physically and emotionally. Like people who have anxiety and depression, like I know that those things are they're clinical terms, and I understand that sometimes it is just a natural hormone imbalance or something like that that's causing it. But I think in a lot of people, this stuff is being caused by a lack of exercise and a lack of taking care of your body. And so when you just, like I have felt amazing the last few weeks, ever since I started rucking. I mean, ever since I started like really working hard at this every single day, I've noticed that my body is so much healthier, and not just in my like lower body fat percentage that I can tell that I have now, and losing weight, which is easier on my joints. But also it helps just like balance the hormones in your brain. If you have anxiety, it's because you have all this energy that's pent up, and it can really like it causes more anxiety because it's not being worked out. And I understand that some people have anxiety no matter how much they work out, or maybe working out causes anxiety in some people. But for me personally, like I was having anxiety issues for a long, long, long time, and exercising and working out like this on a regular basis, where I actually like get all that pent up energy out, it really relieves anxiety like nobody, like I never would have thought possible. So I know that was like this long tangent that had nothing directly to do with heavy drop training, but it's just me saying like I feel better than I've ever felt, and I'm not just physically but emotionally and mentally. I just feel a million times better than I used to. I mean, 3 years ago, let's see, it's 2019 now. 3 years ago, I was still in college, and I went from one desk to another desk, and then went home and sat on the couch, and I never did anything. And it's amazing to me how like this pack that I can barely lift. My arms are so tired after workouts, but like this pack, this is how much extra weight was on my body 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I weighed 50 pounds more than I do now. Isn't that insane? This that I can barely lift used to be just like on my body, and now I'm working out with it, and it's amazing to think, that it only took 3 years. It only took 3 years to lose this. And if you want to know what's in here, I'll get it out and show you. The pack doesn't hardly weigh anything, but there's two of these. These are like little sandbag things that you can put around your wrist or your ankles. Each of them are 5 pounds, so 10 pounds here. And then there's two of these. They are sandbags with sand in them, obviously. Each one is 10 pounds. So there's 20 pounds. And then we have the 20-pound ruck plate that's in here. So 20, 40, 50. And if you can just imagine all of this weight, all of it just like spread out all over my body. That's where it used to be. It used to be all over me. And now it's just on the floor, and I'm working out with it, and I'm lifting it, and I'm playing with it and having fun and losing body fat percentage, or I just feel amazing. And so I know, again, that's just sort of this sidetrack, but I'm very excited just in general about my life, and just how happy I've been in the last few weeks doing this. Even though like there's been a lot of personal stuff that's been going on with me, and I'm not going to get into details of it. Just been some issues with some relationships in my life, and it has caused me to feel very lonely, but it doesn't bring me down anymore. And part of that is just, I think, because I've been focusing on myself, and I haven't been focusing so much on all the negative stuff in my life that it has really started to deteriorate my mental state. It used to all the time, and people who know me will attest to this. I am one of the biggest worriers on the planet. I worry about everything. I worry about things before they've happened. I worry about things after they're over. Like I constantly worry about everything. But these last few weeks have just been, especially this last week, even though this last week has been the worst week as far as my relationships like with people have gone, it's been one of the best weeks for my mental state, just because I've changed my attitude about a lot of things, and I've been focusing on bettering myself and being a better person. And it's really just, it's really life changing. So I know that you guys are probably actually here for the numbers. Maybe. I'm not really sure why you're here if you're watching, but I appreciate you watching. I will go ahead and share some numbers with you. I know I already told you I did 145 push-ups this week. I actually probably did more than that, but that was like one workout had 145 push-ups in it. Let me grab my paper over here really quick, and I'll just go over some general things. Today I haven't actually even counted what all I did today, but it was probably close to 100 sit-ups, give or take. Today was the core day. So there was a lot of sit-ups, a lot of like get-ups. For those of you who don't really know what that is, basically you like lay on the ground, and you have to use your core muscles and your leg muscles to get up off the ground. You don't really use your hands. And so and I think that there's probably a lot of videos of it online, but there's a lot of sit-ups, a lot of get-ups, and a get-up usually includes a sit-up. And let's see, what else did I do today? I don't know. I've blacked out. There's so much stuff. It's on the paper, but oh yeah, like there's these things. It's like a yoga pose where you like you sit on all fours, but then you raise like opposite hand, opposite foot, and those were really nice. I say they were really nice. Like they were surprisingly easy. Like you still work out your core muscles and stuff like that, but it really helps with balance. And I am not good with balance, so I definitely need that anywhere I can get it. And let's see, what else did I do this week? I'm looking at my paper. I'm sorry, because I have forgotten everything. I know that there's a lot of upper body stuff too. One of the things I had to do for the upper body this week was hold my ruck over my head for a long time, for as long as I could, and I actually made it pretty long. There was a lot of like static holds in this workout this week, where we just had to like hold a position for a long time, usually with weight. And for a lot of people, those are really difficult. And it makes sense. I mean, because those muscles are constantly working and they don't stop working. It's not where you're like contracting them and then they rest. Like, it's not like that. It's like you have to hold it, whatever the muscles are. And I wasn't super good at a couple of them. The core one was very difficult, and the lower body one was very difficult for me. But surprisingly, even though upper body is my like weak point, I was able to do the static holds in the upper body a lot more efficiently and for a lot longer than I could for the other portions. It's very strange. It's amazing what you find out about your body when you're actually working all the muscles in your body. Um, and this week was also kind of weird because I don't know if you guys know this or not, both men and women may not even know this, but women's monthly cycle has a huge impact on the efficiency of our workouts. So different weeks in the cycle, like let's just say, you know, you're on a 28-day cycle, which is 4 weeks. Um, each week varies dramatically. There's some weeks where you're going to have a whole lot of energy, you can get at it, you can do really well because you know you have more testosterone in your system than you normally do, and everything's like going. And then there are weeks where you're just like your body just doesn't do things as efficiently. It just doesn't. And usually those are the weeks where you have higher estrogen and lower testosterone levels. And so it's just like it's amazing how the different weeks in the cycle really affect how you are in your workouts. And you know, and I know that a lot of people will probably like call BS on it, but there is a lot of evidence to support it. And I know that a lot of personal trainers, especially trainers that train women in weightlifting, they get frustrated because it's like, okay, last week you could, you know, deadlift 180 pounds, but this week you can only deadlift like, you know, 150. Like, what's going on? Well, that's probably because of her cycle, and her cycle is just like, nope, we're not messing with that. Nope, it's not going to happen today. And that's just the way it is. But this week for me was actually kind of a sluggish week. Even though I did really well, and my mental state's doing really good, and I ended up accomplishing more than I thought I could definitely tell that I just was a little bit more sluggish, and it's just part of it. It's just part of the cycle. I'm happy that I was able to stay in a really good mental and emotional state through this part of the cycle. And I'm hoping that, you know, I can continue with the strong mental and emotional state even after the cycle kind of switches back over to me being more efficient in the workouts. Um, Either way, just sort of putting that out there. So for any women who get frustrated with themselves because they wake up and like one whole week is just you feel like trash the whole week because you couldn't lift as much as you could the week before, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Just do your best. It is part of the cycle. It's part of being a woman, unfortunately. This is just the curse that we have. And you know, you'll power through it and then you'll be stronger at the end. Well, I am going to end this video because it is 18 minutes now. I really appreciate you all watching. If you've watched this long, I will keep you updated next week. Halfway done with HDT, peeps. Halfway done. Only 3 more weeks to go. Thanks for watching.